international affairs editor Rob Parsons. Rob, analysts are saying that this offensive is coming at a high cost for Russia of lives and troops. So why are they pouring so much effort and resources into what's a relatively small town?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Before the war, this is a town of 60,000 people. I think there are believed to be about 35,000 at the moment, and they're being rapidly evacuated. But the town is important because of its position across important road links and rail links. And if the Russians get it, it will break up Ukrainian communications right along that eastern front, from Vuhledar in the south right up to Konstantinivka and beyond that to Kramatorsk, all important towns which the Ukrainians are trying to defend. That is why the Russians are putting so much pressure on. And they're using what have been called meat-grinding tactics, pouring troops in, pressing forward, using their advantage in numbers and in equipment to push the Ukrainians back, which they are doing. They took the town of Avdiivka back in February, in large part because of the failure of the United States to provide weaponry over several months to Ukraine. But since then, the Russians have managed to grind forward another 30 kilometers or so, and now we're within about 10 kilometers of Pokrovsk. The thing, too, about Pokrovsk is they don't actually need to take the town itself. All they need to do is be close to it, and then they can control the road and rail links, because they can fire their artillery and make it impossible for the Ukrainians to supply those towns that I was talking about, towns like Vuhledar to the southwest, Konstantinivka, Horlivka, Kramatorsk, up towards the north. If they can do that, it makes life really tough for the Ukrainians.
And what do we know about President Volodymyr Zelensky's plan for victory? He alluded to it earlier this week. He said he'd present it to Joe Biden and Biden's potential successors, Harris and Trump.
Yeah, it's all a little bit vague, it has to be said. I mean, at the moment, the defense minister and the chief of the president's office are both in the United States, and it's believed that they're going to be certainly there will be a meeting with Lloyd Austin, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, and the other high-ranking American government officials as well. I think the idea at this stage is that they're presenting to the Americans targets deep inside Russia, which they need approval from the United States to attack. This is what it's all about. That's certainly one of the components of the plan for victory. Another component has been the operation in Kursk region over the last few weeks, where the Ukrainians have successfully invaded Russia, pushed them back by about 35 kilometers, in a demonstration to the United States and others that the notion of Russian red lines, beyond which Russia might, for instance, use nuclear weapons against the West or against Ukraine, are in reality a fiction of the imagination. They're just not going to happen. So I think on the one hand, Ukraine's trying to do that. On the other, it's trying to make sure that the United States and its Western backers stick together on the diplomatic and economic fronts as well. Zelensky is going to the United States, to New York, in September for the UN General Assembly, and it's thought that he'll put together his plan, his victory plan, the details of which we don't know yet, comprising 4 elements of the ones I've just been talking about.
All right, Rob, thank you very much for keeping an eye on that.